when somebody needs to go to a nursing home or a skilled nursing facility, usually after an event. Somebody gets sick, somebody gets hurt, there's a medical diagnosis, and it's not like an easy process. So what are some things they could do before to be prepared for that event?
It's not an easy conversation for families to have. When you're competent and you're handling your own decisions, you don't want to think about illness or death even. But some of the documents that are really helpful to have are what we call estate documents that can include power of attorneys or wills or certain stuff like that. When you have an illness and we need to keep the ball rolling when it comes to maintaining your caregiving needs in the nursing facility or maneuvering some of the finances, we can only do that if we have authority to do that. And if the person can't speak for themselves, the only way to continue that is to have power of attorneys in place. So if the person can still sign, that's great. And so we'll promptly do that immediately, whether you are at the hospital or you transition to a facility. But if you're in a situation where you can't sign anymore, you might be stuck at an impasse if we can't move forward with access to certain stuff.
Right. And that power of attorney document is the most important. It's the easiest, but it is the most important estate planning document you can have. It's more important than a will. The state will determine where your assets go, and they do a pretty good job of determining if you don't have a will. But without a power of attorney, when a person loses that ability to speak for themselves, whether they've had a stroke or some sort of event, or whether it's slow, Alzheimer's over time, our ability to plan shrinks, because if they can't sign documents and you don't have access to bank statements, you don't have access to life insurance policies, what we're left with is guardianship, which is an expensive process on its own. You will regret not having that power of attorney because it's so simple to have access through that power of attorney, because with guardianship, everything that you do to plan for Medicaid has to be approved by a court. You will not know what that judge's philosophy is about Medicaid. He or she may feel like you should spend every dollar and not preserve a penny. Guardianship is something that we want to avoid if we can, but sometimes it's necessary just to get access to the account so you can pay the facility.